So you want to seize your day at Busch Gardens Tampa? Then let's get started. Okay, the first thing you're probably wondering is, when should you visit? I would avoid visiting the park on weekends, spring break, winter break, and fall break. You want to avoid these times because these are often the most crowded days of the year. For example, when I visited the park during my spring break, literally just days after Iron Gwazi opened, the park was absolutely slammed with literally an hour wait for everything. Okay, now that you know when to visit Busch Gardens Tampa, you're probably wondering when should you arrive at the park. Remember that the park opens at 10 a.m. most days, and I would always recommend getting to the park 45 minutes to an hour in advance. This is so you can be prepared when the park opens, and you can possibly be the first one to get to major rides that always get long waits, such as Iron Gwazi, Cheetah Hunt, and Cobra's Curse. Okay, so here's some advice on parking. Just remember that general parking costs $30 and preferred parking costs $35. And there are trams that will take you from the parking lot to the main entrance. Personally, I would just recommend paying the $30 for general parking because if you take my advice earlier and get to the park an hour in advance, that'll give you plenty of time to get to the main entrance and therefore you won't have a long wait for trams. And plus, the distance from the general parking lot to the main entrance isn't super far compared to other parks, so just pay the $30 for general parking. Okay, so now you're probably wondering whether the add-ons such as Quick Queue and the dining plan are worth it. Now, just some quick advice with Quick Queue is that the prices for Quick Queue often fluctuate wildly. Like they can go from like $20 on days to $200 on some of the most crowded days of the year. Right now, you can get Quick Queue, the regular for 90 bucks, Quick Queue Unlimited for 100 bucks, and then Quick Queue Unlimited plus Iron Gwazi. Just letting you know that's one ride where you can skip on Iron Gwazi for $130. Now, personally, I don't recommend any of the Quick Queue tiers, and that's just because they're often the same price or more than a second day at Busch Gardens Tampa, so I'd just recommend doing a second day. Now, if you are going to do Quick Queue, I would just recommend to do the unlimited tier for 100 bucks, just because it gets you on every ride more than once where you can skip the line. And when it comes to a dining plan, now if you eat a lot at the park, and you plan on eating full meals, I would recommend it just because it's $50 and if you get 2 full meals for lunch and dinner, that's probably going to equal more than $50. But for anybody else, I wouldn't recommend the dining plan. Okay, so now you're probably wondering what order should I hit the rides? And I'm giving you two options here. Option A is basically going counterclockwise around the park. You would start with Iron Gwazi, which is the park's newest and one of their most popular rides. Plus, it's also a record breaker, meaning it's going to attract people from a lot of different areas. And then I would recommend hitting Cheetah Hunt, Cobra's Curse, and Montu, which are right in the right corner of the park in the Egypt and Edge of Africa sections. Cheetah Hunt and Cobra's Curse often get some of the longest lines in the park just because of their proximity to the main entrance, wide appeal, and the low capacities. And then Montu is just in that general vicinity, so why not hit that while you're at it? And I would recommend heading up to Pantopia and then hitting Falcon's Fury, Scorpion, and Sand Serpent. Then after that, head up to the Congo area where you can hit Kumba, which often only has a 5-minute wait. Then you can head down to Jungle and Stanleyville to hit Tigris and Shikra at the end. Okay, and then for option B, this is basically a clockwise rotation around the park. So I'd first recommend hitting Cheetah Hunt, which like I said earlier is one of the most popular rides in the park, and then hit Cobra's Curse for the same reasons, and then while you're at it, hit Montu. Then, as you're heading clockwise, hit Iron Gwazi next, then Shikra, then Tigris, then Kumba, and then finally you can head over to Pantopia and hit Falcon's Fury, Scorpion, and Sand Serpent. Okay, now you're probably getting hungry and you're wondering where should I eat. Here's some general advice for any amusement park. Well, I would always eat breakfast before you get to the park and eat dinner once you leave the park. This is because it'll save you a heck of a lot of money because theme park food prices are extremely expensive. And because of that, I would highly recommend getting lunch at Twisted Tails Pretzels, which is located right next to Falcon's Fury in Pantopia. This restaurant has some really good pretzels, and they're actually fairly reasonably priced compared to most amusement parks. I believe they're like $9 a pretzel, which is still expensive, but definitely not as bad as other locations in the park. Okay, now, Busch Gardens Tampa is obviously known for their animals. And the three animal exhibits I would recommend are Cheetah Run, which is an experience where you can watch cheetahs run across a grassy plain right next to Cheetah Hunt's launch, and this is every hour. I would also recommend hitting the kangaroos, which are right next to Shikara. They are super hilarious sometimes. I've seen them do some really strange things, so that's why I'd recommend them. One area in the park in particular, Jungola, is just full of great animal exhibits including tigers and orangutans, which are both a joy to watch. Okay, now I will admit that I don't go to Busch Gardens Tampa for the shows, but they do have some really good ones. Like, for example, Cirque Electric, which is a dance and acrobatic show in the Stanleyville Theater near Shikara. Then also you have the nightly fireworks, which take place during the summer, and they're a great way to end your night. And also with Cirque Electric, it is also a show that is primarily shown in the summer, so if you go at any other time, you're probably going to miss it. Okay, thank you for watching. Remember to like and share this video with anybody you know, and subscribe to this channel. Peace.